Hello everybody and welcome back to the NXTGEN Racing's Mazda MX5 Cup. We are here at the fastest circuit in the UK. It is Thruxton and we are here for the 7th round of competition. Just 2 more weeks to go, 6 more races, and we will find out who will be the champion as we head into the winter break here. It is currently being led in the Pro standings by Kieran Sharp. It is being led in the Pro-Am standings by Alan McCain, and it is not going to be an easy one by any stretch of the imagination because the wet weather tyres are strapped on solid to these MX5 machines. It is wet out there as expected in the UK, and it is going to be a very interesting set of races, but it is going to be a very fun one to say the least as we head into the 7th round of competition here at Thruxton. We go to the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park next week for round 8 and the final round of the season. It is tight in the championship fight, so each point is going to mean everything for each one of our drivers. Last week at the Red Bull Ring, it was Doble domination. Mikey Doble taking 2 race victories. Isaac Doble taking the 3rd race victory last week. It is going to be a tight one once again out there today, and at the moment it is looking like Jamie Dory is the man on top in this practice session, but we've seen him on top in practice already this season. He is yet to come out on top in qualifying or in a race. That doesn't discount him from a championship fight, however, but he is going to need to pick up some wins in the final 2 weeks of asking. That is for sure. Talking about the championship standings then, as I said, Kieran Sharp is leading the way in the Pro Championship standings. 253 points to his name, but he is only 5 points clear of Adam Delmont, who is sitting pretty in 2nd position. 5 wins to Delmont's name. It is only 1 to Kieran Sharp's, but it is showing you consistency matters more than race wins this season. That being said as well, Mikey Doble taking 2 wins last week jumps himself ahead of his brother Isaac Doble, just 1 point separating both of them. Neither of them out of the championship at this stage. He's in the reaches, but it is going to be very, very difficult for Jamie Dory to find his way to the front of this championship. Mathematically, he is still in it in 5th position there, but I think he'll be hoping to try and stay ahead of Nick Libbins, who's sitting pretty in 6th place right now. Andrew Pike sits in 7th place, 145 points to his name, sits him 8 points clear of Craig Twardock. Adam Wilson-Weir in 9th position, a further 6 points back before a little bit of a drop down to Tom Davidson. That's your top 10 in the Pro standings, and our drivers, Sharp, Delmont and the Doble brothers, will be going hard here today to try and take more victories, more points for their championship fight. Isaac Doble is looking like the 2nd fastest in the practice right now, ahead of Kieran Sharp, who is 3rd fastest. Adam Delmont is 5th fastest in the session, and Mikey Doble, he's moved up to 7th fastest in the session right now, but he was down in 15th fastest earlier on in the evening, so he is finding time out there. That's the Pro standings then. Fight at the top, very close indeed. It is a little bit of a more of a gap in the Pro-Am standings. However, again, a championship is not yet decided. Points are available there, but it is a nice lead here from Alan McCain, who is looking pretty at the top of the championship standings right now with 271 points to his name. Phil McDougall sits in 2nd, 217. There is a big gap between them right now, but mathematically again, there is still a chance there. But Alan McCain could wrap it up here at Thruxton and take the Pro-Am Championship before we head to the final round at Mosport. He has yet to get out on track though, since I've been sitting here watching the practice session, which has been for the last half hour or so. So he's also without a lap time to his name, but I'm sure that he'll be finding his way up the order as he has done so far this season. 2 victories to his name in that Pro-Am class, of course. Most victories go the way of Sam Smith and Phil McDougall. They are tied on 3 points each across the course of the season, but 3 wins each, sorry, across the course of the season. But again, consistency really does matter. Phil McDougall holding there in second position. Sam Smith, even with 3 victories, 2 wins last week alone, he's sitting in 8th place in the championship right now. As the weather tonight, like I said, it is looking very, very rainy out there. The rain is pouring on and off. It's very wet already, but we have got a high chance of rain all evening long across the 3 races. If you are joining us here for round 7 for the first time, then be sure to know how this event lines up. And we've got our practice session ongoing at the moment. We are going to be heading across into a 15-minute open qualifying session, which means all the drivers are going to be heading down onto the track at the same time, and they've got to find their way around the circuit without getting involved in any other instances. We've got a couple of overlapping music pieces there. We'll sort that out. Race number 1 here today is going to be about 15 minutes long. That's the same as race 2. The grid for race 2, however, is going to be decided by the race 1 result, with the top 15 being reversed for that one. Race number 3 is going to be the longest race of the day, about 25 minutes of racing action. And that'll be a full inverted grid. You are not included in the invert if you're more than 1 lap off of the race leader in the previous event. So we are going to see how this is going to line up for our drivers. It is going to be a fun one, that is for certain. It is going to be an interesting one with the championship standings at play here. And like I said, the race wins, they do count for something, but they're not enough yet to put some of those repeat winners into the lead of the championship. I mean, Kieran Sharp, he is leading that championship. He only has 1 win this season, whereas we've got repeat winners up and down the field, really. Mikey Doble has taken 3 wins to his name now. Isaac Doble taken 3 wins to his name. Adam Dalmont has 5 victories to his name, and these are the drivers in 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the championship. They are not leading the overall championship, the Pro Championship, as it stands. And I think that really shows the consistency of Kieran Sharp right now. The only time Sharp has crossed that line as a race winner was back in Long Beach for the 4th round of the season. It was the opening race, and I'd say that was purely because Isaac Doble had a mistake under the safety car going into the back of another driver when his screen turned off, and he had to pit and he had to recover from that. And I think that's the only reason Doble didn't in that one. He took pole, of course, at Long Beach. So Kieran Sharp right now, he doesn't need the wins. He just needs the points. He's got a few over Adam Dalmont. He needs to keep that momentum up today and continue to score more than Dalmont and the Dobles, if possible, through the 3 races. And that's what's important about an event like this, is 3 races are coming your way across the whole evening. It's not just 1 race, done, dusted, and we move on. It's 3 races. If your first race doesn't go your way, well, you've got a second race to make up for it. If that really doesn't go your way, you've got your 3rd race. And those inverted grids, they really do play a part. Thinking back to Long Beach when Kieran Sharp took that victory and Isaac Doble lost out in that first race of the day, the top 15 invert allowed Doble to go and win the second race of the day. Adam Delmont, thinking back again to Long Beach, he waited around in the opening race of the day. He really struggled at Long Beach. Final race, full inverted grid, he found his way to the front. It shows the 3 races, they're really important. You make a mistake early doors, you've got more races to come back at it. It's not over straight away. These are going to be fairly heavy on the lap counters because a lap around here is rather short. 1.5 minutes is what we are looking at, and most of that is going to be at full throttle. Slipstream is really going to play into effect here, and you've got that toe that is going to be pulling you around the 12 laps of the Thruxton circuit, and you have got to be really careful in the wet. Don't get yourself on a puddle. Don't get yourself even a little bit on some of these curbs, especially at high speed. I'm thinking at the back end of the circuit, we've got turn number 8 and that really big right-hander. You get too much of the curb, especially on the exit, you'll be visiting the grass. You'll be lucky if you are facing the right way. 2 heavy braking points around the Thruxton circuit, of course. You've got turn number 2 is going to be a really heavy braking point as you head into the first set of S's. It's going to be a great overtaking opportunity and can really set yourself up nicely through the left-hander of 3 into 4 as you head around towards the back end of the circuit. Second braking zone out there, turn number 10, the final chicane. You can jump that chicane if you line it up perfectly. You can get through that chicane without an off-track, without a slowdown, and find a lot of speed. But I think we are going to be seeing cars go 2, even 3 wide as we head up there. Finding that ideal line is going to be a challenge. But a challenge is what these drivers are asking for. They are heading out for what is yet another wet race in this season. We've seen them before, and it should come off well. The big one with the wet races, of course, if we think back to Brands Hatch, the rain was there. The rain wasn't there. It caused a lot of split strategy choices where we saw Nick Clibbins get pole position, deciding to go onto the wet compound tyres in that second race of the day. It wasn't wet at the start of the race. It was absolutely soaked by the end, and those wet tyres played out. Are we going to see a split strategy choice here today? Probably not. We are most likely going to be seeing those wet tyres all evening long because the conditions are going to call for it. It's going to be very, very challenging to get yourself onto dries. Now, the sun is sort of there. The clouds are lifting. I can see the sun in the distance, but it's not likely that this circuit is going to dry up at any point this evening. What that means is drivers aren't going to be thinking about strategy, but they are going to be thinking about how is the surface going to be changing. Are there puddles going to be forming when it's raining? Are puddles going to be disappearing when the rain is not falling? How are their lines going to change? Where are the overtaking opportunities going to be? Especially if they've got a good toe, they've got a nice bump from behind. Can they find themselves into a nice drier bit of racing surface to make that overtake stick? Or will we see cars heading around as they clip a puddle just the wrong way? It's going to be interesting. It's the reason I'm up in the commentary booth and the drivers down there are out in the Mazdas because they are a lot better at this than I am. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do around the qualifying session. It's going to start in just a couple of minutes' time. Talking about qualifying then, we've talked about race winners already. Let's talk about pole sitters. Sam Spinell saw 2 poles this season. He will not get on pole again. We won't see him. But Isaac Doble tied for that 2 poles up at Aragon. He took it double, Long Beach to Aragon. Can he find himself towards the front now? He is only 0.07 of a second slower than the fastest time in practice at the moment. So could Doble go for his 3rd pole of the season? Nick Clibbins talked about how he did in the wet. He managed to get pole back at Brands Hatch the last time we were on the virtual British soil. Can he find himself back into pole position for the 2nd time this season? And even though he had 5 wins to his name, Adam Delmont only took his first pole last week around the Red Bull Ring. And I don't think he'll be wanting to find himself on pole position again because that's the only the second week of the season that Delmont's not won a single race. And it came when he got pole position. The last time Delmont didn't win a race was back at Zandvoort for the third round of the season. But he did get a few good points out of that one. Right, qualifying then is going to begin in just a moment's time. So I hope you are ready for this one. Is it going to mean absolutely everything getting your car on pole position? Probably not. But is it going to help you? Yes, is the answer to that one. Adam Delmont is out there at the moment, well, in the practice session. Dry tyres on his car. I think he's seeing what the limits are of the dries around a circuit that is wet. At what point do you feel like you can cross over? Certainly not in these conditions. Not only is the circuit absolutely soaking wet, the rain is falling as well. Practice then is over, and we are going to be preparing ourselves for qualifying here as we begin. 15 minutes of qualifying. Drivers will be heading out there to try and get in some lap times. The rain is starting to fall once more. Is that going to impact the racing surface? Is it going to get worse as the rain stops as they exit pit lane? Or are we going to see the surface drying up within the next 15 minutes? I think all drivers are going to head out there early, get the conditions that they are now, just in case they get any worse. There's nothing stopping them from coming back out again towards the end of this session. And I know that a lot of drivers will be running the entire 15 minutes, just putting lap after lap after lap. Will we see the Isaac Doble, Jamie Dory band back together again? I believe that's why they were so close in the practice session. They were working together. They have been working together over the last few weeks to get in some good lap times around circuits that really require slipstream, require a good tow. Isaac Doble out there at the moment, all on his lonesome, and I do not see Jamie Dory around him at the moment, so it will be a little bit of work that Isaac Doble is going to need to do. And in fact, I think that might be Dory just up the road. It is, so they aren't too far away from each other here. Dory himself is sat behind, I believe, Nick Clibbins potentially coming through turn number 1 as he goes across. So I know that wasn't. It was Matt Getter, I think. I'm trying to still figure out racing numbers is this one thing. It was Kieran Sharp. It was Kieran Sharp. Look at that. Kieran Sharp is leading this championship, so actually a pole position would be very nice for him. He has only got 1 win this season, but he is up there at the top of the championship right now, 5 points clear of Adam Delmont, and he was running faster than Delmont in the practice session. So who knows? This still could go the way of Kieran Sharp with a good set of races here. And Sharp's lead certainly did close down last week at the Red Bull Ring, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen again here. Sharp could find himself gapping the drivers behind, Adam Delmont and the 2 Doble brothers, of course. The rain not knowing if it wants to fall or not as the drivers continue to head around. We watch Kieran Sharp here heading through turn number 8 and up towards the chicane. This left hand here at turn 9, and then the second braking point on the lap is going to be the chicane of 10, 11 and 12. You're going to want to line it up nicely here to get a good run through. You really can hammer those curbs and push it hard, and you will still keep a valid lap. That lineup is going to be important in the qualifying session, as Kieran Sharp is the first man across the timing line and finds 3/10 over Jamie Dory. But championship rival Adam Delmont has gone faster at the early point in this one. This is Michael Clough. We talked to him in all 3 races at Aragon. It was going quite well for him. It wasn't going quite well for him. It was a bit of a mixed bag for Michael Clough back then. Let's see how it goes for him here around Thruxton. He heads out of the final lap. He completes his first lap, and he will head on to a second lap around the Thruxton circuit. Through turn number 1, pushing it to the right-hand side, you can see those puddles that are out there, though. This left-hander, technically not turn 2, even though I would count it as turn 2. As we head into what is now turn 2, you can still hammer that curb on the inside, even in the wet, just like this one here, as Clough does. The pattern of the curbs allows you to run over it. It doesn't really retain water in the same way as you saw on the outside there. No curbing, just puddles. Pushing it hard to the right-hand side here, we'll turn across to the left. You normally want to run over that green turfing. You don't want to do that in the wet, however. And Clough pulls across to the left-hand side of the circuit, landing about up in the middle as we go through turn number 6. Pushing it hard then. I think we're going to see a number of cars run into the grass there, catch that water on the outside, potentially spin as we head up towards turn number 8. As even though we have that left-hander wasn't turn 2, somehow we've already gone through turn 7. As Sharp and Dalmont alternate at the top of the field once more. Isaac Doble's up there as well. Mikey Doble's up there. The top 4 in this qualifying session right now are the top 4 in the championship in your Pro Series. Alan McCain leading your Pro-Am field has just lost the position to Phil McDougall, who sits second in the Pro-Am field as we head up towards the timing line. And good evening to those watching on the broadcast wherever you are watching, across over on the Twitch, the YouTube or the Facebook. And welcome in to the Pike family once again. Andrew Pike sitting there in 13th position right now in this session, looking to find some time, possibly looking to find some support out there, because the tow is going to be important as you run around this circuit, being the fastest one in the UK, and just proving that Damon Hill took a Formula 1 car around the circuit back in 1993, managed to put in an average lap speed of 147 miles an hour. It's quick out there. Not quite that quick in these Mazda MX5s, however, and they are pushing as hard as they possibly can. This is Zara McGuinness here making way, it looks like, or trying to find a space around the circuit to get in a good lap time. Currently 21st position out there. Adam Dalmont goes faster. Craig Twardock has found his way into second position. Twardock has moved across to the Pro Series, did that all the way back at the third round of the season at Zandvoort. Before that, he took 3 class wins in the Pro-Am field. He's yet to take an overall race win. He has been there close a number of times. Can he be there even closer here today, and could he even find his first pole position of the season? Will Adam Dalmont find his second pole position of the season and do it back to back after finding his first last week at the Red Bull Ring? Can Kieran Sharp, Pro Championship leader, find some time out there, improve on his gap, which is currently 0.3 of a second slower than Dalmont? He's not got the support, he's not got the tow. Dalmont has got a distant tow here to Jamie Dory. Dory doing a great job up in 4th position right now. This could be Dory's opportunity to try and take a first win of the season, which he has it's just eluded him so far this season. Talking about drivers that are running around in new positions, Matthew Jordan not only driving around there in a new position in 16th, he joins the championship here at the penultimate round of the season, so it's nice to see a new name here in the 86 machine, and he'll be trying to put in a nice strong lap time. He's currently 5th in class, 16th overall. Isaac Doble, talking about a strong lap time, goes into provisional pole position, is currently being pulled around by Adam Dalmont. Isaac Doble, 2 poles so far this season, Long Beach and Aragon. Can he find pole position here in the wet? We are about halfway through this 15-minute qualifying session, 6.5 minutes left on the clock, and Lee Horn is the only driver out there, pro driver out there, not to be with the rest of the pro field. Tom Davidson, Murray Adams without lap times in that pro class. Mark Sykes and Leslie Brazil without lap times in the Pro-Am class, as that was Dalmont letting Doble through. So we have seen teamwork being applied between Isaac Doble and Jamie Dory the last couple of weeks, as that is a big moment there for Isaac Doble, and you can see what it does to just catch onto the grass there. You really have got to be careful. We'll see if we can get a replay of that very, very quickly as... we just caught the end of it there. Let's have another look at that one. This just shows this is what it is going to be like through the races. How easy it's going to be to lose the rear end. It was already starting to slide as we head into the corner. Pushes it hard. Now that's where you can really place the car in the dry. But in the wet here, look at how the car wobbles as we come back on. Delmont just about avoiding that. But a huge wobble as they went through. Brakes for both drivers trying to recover that car, as it was a very tricky position to be in off there, as Thruxton had to come down pit lane to get a penalty out of the way. Ben Altra is running around now, 5th fastest out there, knocking Kieran Sharp down to 8th position. This is not what the championship leader needs, because his 3 rivals, Doble, and Delmont, are 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Isaac currently there in pole. Mikey Doble took 2 wins last week, means both the Dobles are on 3 wins apiece. Isaac Doble is the only one of the 2 to get a pole position so far this season. Can Mikey Doble outdo his brother here and get himself into that pole position spot as drivers move across to right? That was Isaac Doble and Adam Delmont, and that was also Mikey Doble backing out there. Ben Altra now leads this train of drivers, and Mikey Doble is at the rear of the train of drivers. Let's see what the BTCC driver can do. He sits in 2nd position, but he does sit at the rear of this train of drivers that might be able to pull him up towards a provisional pole position here as we head onto the brakes of turn number 2. Getting over that curb in there, a big slide from Adam Delmont ahead. It's Isaac Doble, the driver ahead of Delmont, and it's Ben Altra now leading this train in that top 5. Craig Twardock is the only driver not to be part of this train. Sam Smith finds a huge amount of time in class. It goes to 9th overall right now. That has put Alan McCain down to 18th position, 6th in class for the Pro-Am Championship lead. Not what he needs, especially with Phil McDougall, 2nd in Championship, is sitting 3rd in class right now. Time on the board for Murray Adams, places him in 21st position. As at the moment, Doble looking to try and push as hard as he can, as it looks like we're actually catching up to yet another driver. A minute half on the clock, about 3 minutes in the session. Drivers will be pushing hard to try and find anything they can at the end. It's been raining pretty much all the way through this qualifying session. It's not got any dryer out there. Those wet tyres working overtime, as that was Ben Altra off the circuit. He swerves across to the right, and Isaac Doble finds just a little bit more time. Adam Delmont also found time. They go 1st and 2nd. Mikey Doble down to 3rd position right now, but it is Isaac Doble who is looking. He's got someone in front of him here. This is going to be impacting Isaac. He wobbles a little bit, and not sure who that was coming out of pit lane there, but it's certainly slowed drivers down, and Isaac Doble going to be off the rear here, and there we go. I think it might have been Matt Gatter. Potentially, no, it was Leslie Brazil, the 2 teammates there, Matt Gatter and Leslie Brazil. There's a big old wobble from the rear end of Brazil there. You can just see coming out of turn number 3, and it looks like it's just a bit of a wobble for him as he gets onto the water, and showing how dangerous it is to be out there in the wet. It really is tricky along those curbings. You don't want to touch the puddles. You want to stay as best as you can on the racing surface. Mikey Doble is going to be leading this train of drivers over the line. The train has fallen away a bit with the couple of cars going around there. Isaac Doble in the background, not going to be getting a tow right now. Can Mikey Doble find something though as he slides through the final chicane? He backs out of it. Mikey Doble will not go any faster as Kieran Sharp went faster on his last lap to go into third. That is exactly what he needs. Once again, it's the top 4 in the championship is sitting in the top 4 positions in this qualifying session. Who is going to take that pole position spot though? It is close between Delmont and Sharp behind Doble there. All 3 of them separated by less than a tenth of a second. Sharp here pushing around. Andrew Pike is also out there. He found time earlier that moved him up into a top 10, but as other drivers are improving, he's found himself down in 14th once more. Can he move his way back up the order as we come across the timing line? As Pike's needing to beat a 30.1 to do a personal best. It's not enough, it's 31.4. Murray Adams goes personal best on his own lap time though and moves into 7th position right now as the checkered flag of this session is out. Drivers will be completing their last laps. Matthew Cheverton moves up into 18th position past Kurtler and Fish. Alan McCain, Pro-Am Championship leader, has not found the time that he needs back there, almost a second slower than the fastest Pro-Am driver, newcomer Matthew Jordan, who is looking to come into this series and take a win straight off the bat. That is not how to do the final chicane there from Isaac Doble. Adam Delmont does not find time, 0.2 of a second off of his personal best so far, and that means he will stay in second. This is looking like it will be a 3rd pole of the season for Isaac Doble, which will be the most of any driver this season as we go into the final chicane here from Craig Twardock, pushing hard, but backs out of it at the end. I believe a potential slowdown on the way into the pit lane, and that's why he's also Black Fab. Ben Oucher goes around, but he's already completed his time. Lee Horn crosses the line, does not find an improvement from his 12th position spot as Mark Hughes is also out there looking to try and improve on his lap time. Currently 23rd position here in qualifying. The first race of the day will be coming your way in just a moment's time, and it is going to be a wet one. It is going to be an interesting one. We've got 27 drivers who will be looking to take some good points out of this one. Mark Sykes, Les Brazil, 2 drivers without a lap time on the board. They will not find themselves with any lap time by the end of this one, but that is qualifying done and dusted here at Thruxton. Drivers will be preparing themselves for just a moment. We will be getting across into the race session in just 1 moment's time, but for the 3rd time this season, Isaac Doble is going to start race number 1 at the front of the field. Race number 1 has only ever been won from pole position once this season, and that was back at Zandvoort by Sam Spinell. Can Isaac Doble take it today, take his 4th win of the season? He needs the points for his championship. Right, let's have a look then at how the grid is going to start themselves off here for the first race of the day. Isaac Doble will be starting from pole ahead of Adam Delmont. Kieran Sharp will be starting from 3rd with Mikey Doble in 4th position. Jamie Dorey will be starting this one in 5th ahead of Craig Twardock. 7th position is going to be to Murray Adams. 8th position will be Ben Oucher. 9th position for Matthew Jordan, looking very fast in that Pro-Am field. Adam Wilson Weir is going to be in 10th out of Andrew Pike and Tom Davidson. 13th position is going to go to Lee Horn. Sam Smith will be starting in 14th ahead of Nick Clibbins. Michael Clough will start in 16th. Phil McDougall will be starting this one in 17th ahead of Matthew Sheverton. 19th position is going to go the way of William Kurtler, 20th to Adrian Frutch. Alan McCain will start in 21st ahead of Matt Getter, Mark Hughes and Zara McGuinness. And at the back of the field, we're going to find Andy Outhouse and 2 drivers without a lap time. Mark Sykes and Leslie Brazil will be starting from the rear of this field. We are going to prepare ourselves then for the first race of the day. 10 laps of asking here in race number 1. It'll be the same for race 2, but the top 15 of this result will be reversed. Who is going to win this one? Can Isaac Doble break the duck on his back here and take a win in the first race of the day after getting pole position? He managed to win one race from pole back at Long Beach. He managed to win race number 2 with the reverse grid. He didn't manage to win a race after getting pole at Aragon. 10 laps on the board here for the first race of the day. We are green and away, and the Outhouse has had a jump start at the back of the field and will have to visit pit lane off the start here. Kieran Sharp gets a good start from 3rd position as well. Adam Dalmon in 2nd is side by side between Mikey Doble and Jamie Dory, as Doble looking to try and get past Kieran Sharp as we head up towards turn number 2. It's going to be side by side as we head through with Doble stuck on the outside. Up at front, Dalmon looks to the inside of Isaac, couldn't quite do it. Kieran Sharp, Mikey Doble, they remain side by side here, settle themselves out, and here comes Craig Twardock on the back of Jamie Dory to potentially do something. Can't do that. Andrew Pike here is getting pushed along by teammate Tom Davidson. Davidson ducks to the inside though, and they are going to run side by side through turn number 5. It turns across for turn 6, and it could allow Lee Horn up the inside. Tom Davidson here as Pike goes to the inside of Adam Wilson-Weir. It doesn't turn out anything for Pike right now, but it could do something for Lee Horn as he remains up the inside of Tom Davidson. They back out of it, and we head through turn number 8 for the first time. A tricky corner for the drivers, but they have managed to get through without issue at the front. Adam Wilson-Weir, however, has found his way onto the grass. He's picked up that very tricky puddle on the outside. Kieran Sharp goes to the inside of Adam Dalmont into the chicane. Dalmont's going to hang the speed around. There's a little bit of contact there. Mikey Doble looking to try and take advantage of that, as that's Craig Twardock up the inside of Jamie Dory as well. So they come across the line. It was 3 wide momentarily behind, but it's side by side between Jamie Dory and Craig Twardock. Twardock is going to get the inside line here through turn number 1. It was switched back in Jamie's favour before they get onto the brakes for turn 2 as we get onto the brakes at the front. Ben Oucher is trying to get around the outside of Matthew Jordan here. Jordan still leading the Pro-Am field off the start there. Tom Davidson gets around the outside of Andrew Pike. The 2 teammates now side by side. It switches back across for Pike. And he is going to remain ahead right now with Tom Davidson behind. Ben Oucher once again looking to try and get a position this time of Murray Adams, and he isn't going to be able to hold it side by side to make that move. Matt Gatter has to back off of Alan McCain in their fight as well, but Isaac Doble has got an 0.8 of a second lead here, which is exactly what he's going to want to convert that pole into a win for only the 2nd time this season that would be done by any driver. A little bit of a slide there from Mikey Doble behind Kieran Sharp and Adam Dalmont. Dalmont moves to the right to go defensive, and Kieran Sharp takes out championship contender Adam Dalmont. He goes around, he finds himself facing the right way, somehow out of that, but he's down the order. So there is Kieran Sharp, both drivers fighting for the championship down in this one. Sharp relieves the position, he gives the position back to Adam Dalmont and falls further down. You can tell because of that he knows that was completely his fault, and he would not have been hoping to do something like that. Let's see once again, and it just looks like it was just the smallest of mistakes there that caused that to happen. Let's find out from onboard here as we ride onboard with Kieran Sharp. He's to the left, and he just doesn't turn for the corner where it goes around. I think that you could argue both of them just needed to leave each other a little bit of extra room there, but sometimes that's what happens. Kieran Sharp, though, has been black flagged early doors and will have to visit pit lane. Not what the championship leader wanted or needed here. With both Dobles at the front, they could find themselves to the front of the championship with a strong start like this, with Delmont and Sharp down the order, but that's one of the Dobles. Mikey Doble into the grass, through the exit of turn 8, just catching that water. It is making it difficult out there. It's now a fight between Jamie Dory and Craig Twardock. Dory and Twardock going for their first wins of the season. So would Murray Adams. Ben Oucher would be looking for his second. Isaac Doble is looking for his fourth win of the season. We go across the timing line and on to the fourth lap of asking, as purple lap times flying from Oucher, then Davidson, as they come across the line. Is Oucher's right on the rear of Murray Adams here. Matthew Jordan is right in this one as well in the 86, just behind in that orange and black NXTGEN Racing machine, and looking to try and get into the mix of this fight that is for the lead, being led by Isaac Doble. Craig Twardock looking to get back into a fight with Jamie Dory. What was originally a fight for fourth has turned into a fight for second. Dory wants to make that a fight for the lead as he goes for the alternate line through 5 and 6, and it switches him across to the inside. Can Dory get to the inside of 7? No, and Isaac Doble goes extremely defensive. Jamie Dory is going to have to try and carry this around the outside into turn 8. He's not going to be able to do that. And Isaac Doble is still leading this race, but he has got this trainer driver behind. Jamie Dory moves to the left-hand side. They head through turn 9 and up to the final chicane here. Dory tactically leading this race, but can Doble do anything on the inside? He backs out early to allow Jamie Dory around the outside to lead here at Thruxton. Can Jamie Dory turn this race into his first win of the season? He's been close for a number of times. Will it take him to the penultimate round to take it? He slides though through turn 1. He's trying to break the toe of Isaac Doble behind. It's going to be very tricky to break a toe around here, and it is all going to be about where you place your car in the defensive drive. Craig Twardock there sitting on the podium ahead of Ben Oucher, and I mean Matthew Jordan, Pro-Am race leader, is right on the rear of this train and could get himself into the fight for the win. We head now through turn number 5 with Dory leading Doble for now. We're on board with Jamie Dory here looking back at Isaac Doble. A slide from Doble, a slight correction on the wheels we saw there, but you can see how much spray is being kicked up off the rear of these Mazdas as we head up now towards turn number 8. Jamie Dory is leading ahead of Isaac Doble, but will Doble get an opportunity into the chicane just like Dory did last lap? You can see how close all of the drivers are behind as it's going to go side by side for third here. Ben Oucher and Craig Twardock fighting it out. Twardock on the inside. Oucher goes to the outside. There's a little bit of a nudge. Oucher's wobbling. He manages to keep it straight somehow. Twardock holds third. Oucher now looks towards the inside of turn number 1. Jordan wanted to do something with that and has got his nose in. Oucher had to back out from his attack on Twardock. And here comes Matthew Jordan to try and get past Ben Oucher for 4th position overall as we head up towards the braking zone. It is going to be side by side with Jordan up the inside of Oucher, but it will switch back over in favour of Oucher. Jordan now also under attack from Murray Adams, who has got a good amount of speed on the exit. And here comes Tom Davidson. It's going to be 3 wide through turn 5, and sensibly Matthew Jordan backs out of that one. Pro-Am race leader does not need the overall position. Here comes Mikey Doble to get up the inside though and move back in to 7th if he can, as that's Jamie Dory off and around. He was fighting for the win and could have taken his first win of the season. What's happened to Jamie Dory? And it's all on his own. Loses the rear end. Isaac Noble visits the grass, but does get out back onto the circuit. He has lost a little bit of time. That one is off the circuit. Up ahead is, I believe, Andrew Pike, as I didn't want to get back on. Oh, that was close. It was Andrew Pike off through the exit of turn 8, and this is Michael Clough to the inside of Adrian Fish. Fish runs wide, and Alan McCain, Pro-Am Championship leader, tries to take that position. Won't be able to do it at the moment. Murray Adams sitting there in 4th position. Craig Twardock is the only driver currently on the podium that has not won a race so far this season, and he is looking to hunt down Isaac Noble. Half a second between them as it stands. As that was Oucher getting a slower exit through turn 3 than he would have wanted. A little bit of a tap there on Murray Adams, and Tom Davidson gets through. So does Matthew Jordan, and Murray Adams falls down to 6th position. We're on the 7th lap of asking here out of 10. Clibbins and Mikey Doble are fighting it out for a potential 9th position. Mikey Doble has got to slow down though and has to back out of it. He is dropping down though to 13th place, and right now it'll put him in with a good opportunity on the reverse grid pole. Top 15 will be reversed as Oucher gets a little bit of a nudge there from Tom Davidson. Oucher disappears onto the grass as around in the background is Nick Clibbins as well. So Clibbins and Oucher falling down the positions. It's really inviting drivers up the top here. Murray Adams to the inside of of Matthew Jordan. They run side by side. Adams has to remain behind Jordan at the moment, but gets good speed on the exit. 3 to go here as we head up towards turn number 1. Mikey Doble has had major issues. He's down to 21st position in this race, continuing to fall down right now, and he actually is basically coming to a stop back there. I'm not sure what's going on for Mikey Doble, but he certainly has had an issue on this lap, and he has lost a lot of time. Out front is Isaac Doble leading Craig Twardock, leading the fastest man of the race, Tom Davidson. 1st, 2nd and 3rd position. It's the teammates in 2nd and 3rd. Are they going to help each other out to get up to Doble? Murray Adams on the rear end of Matthew Jordan, wanted to take 4th position in the overall race. Matthew Cheverton is trying to get involved, potentially take the win in the Pro-Am field here as Murray Adams goes to the inside of Jordan. Jordan backs out, allows Adam through, but now that gives Cheverton a perfect opportunity here as we head up towards the chicane for another overtake as Adams goes onto the grass, and he's completely, Jordan onto the grass, he's completely onto the grass there. Has to find his way back onto the racing surface, does so as cleanly as possible. A little bit of a touch there with Phil McDougall, but they all get through. And what that means is what could have been a clear win for Matthew Jordan hands over to Matthew Cheverton, who is now leading the Pro-Am race. As it stands, Tom Davidson all over the rear of Craig Twardock. Is he looking to get second? Is he looking to push his teammate so they can fight Isaac Doble at the front of the field to try and take the win in this one? It is all for championship points for Isaac Doble. He needs those points here with Delmont, with his brother Mikey Doble, and with Sharp not running in their best positions. I mean, Adam Delmont has recovered up to 7th, shall we say. He has done a great job, but with just 2 weeks remaining in this season, Isaac Doble needs to make every point count, and right now he's going to want to try and take the win. Twardock and Davidson behind. They're going to be looking to try and take that away. A lot of water being kicked up through turn 8 as we head up towards the chicane for the penultimate time. Davidson moves to the left to go past Twardock, is he going to make the move all the way on the outside of Isaac Doble as well? No, he isn't. But Tom Davidson makes the overtake on Craig Twardock. They swap around as the white flag comes out here for the final lap of race number 1. Isaac Doble leads the way ahead of Tom Davidson. Craig Twardock sits in third. Murray Adams could pick up the pieces if this all goes wrong. Davidson looks to the outside of Isaac Doble. He carries the speed. It will give him the inside on the switch back through turn 3. Isaac Doble backs out of that, looking for the speed as they head up through turn 4. And Isaac Doble will be looking to try and make that overtake at the exit of turn 8, I am sure, as they go through 5, kicking up the water again. Tom Davidson leads on Hunt for his first win of the season. Isaac Doble sits in second, drops back a little bit there as that was Murray Adams visiting the grass. Does get back on, but will not get into the fight here at the front. Craig Twardock looking to try and take second. Is Doble backing off of Davidson to get the run up to the chicane? Or has Davidson just found that extra gear on this last lap? It looks like he may have just found the extra gear. We head up now towards the chicane. It is 4 wide behind. Somehow they all settle themselves down. Delmont ahead of Horn, but behind Murray Adams. But Tom Davidson will win his first race of the season ahead of Isaac Doble. Craig Twardock takes third. Murray Adams fourth ahead of Delmont and Lee Horn. Matthew Cheverton takes 7th. Across the line, it was side by side for Jordan, Kirtler and McDougall for the podium. In the Pro-Ams, Ben Oucher takes 11th ahead of Michael Clough. Jamie Dory takes 13th. Andrew Pike in 14th. Adrian Fitch will get race 2, reverse grid pole in 15th position. Nick Clibbins came home in 16th. Alan McCain in 17th, ahead of Matt Catter. Adam Wilson-Weir took home 19th position, ahead of Mark Hughes with some damage at the end there in 20th. 21st goes away of Sam Smith. Mikey Doble with issues finishes in 22nd, ahead of Kieran Sharp. 2 championship contenders at the back there. Leslie Brazil crosses the line in 24th. Zara McGuinness will take 25th. Andy Outhouse out of the race early doors. But for the first time this season, Tom Davidson wins a race here at the 7th round of Asking. It is a first race victory for Tom Davidson. Matthew Cheverton takes the Pro-Am win for the 3rd time this season, and taking full advantage of the issues for Matthew Jordan, who came home in 2nd in class at the end of that one. What a race number 1 that was. We've still got 2 more coming your way. It is going to be absolutely fantastic. That is without a doubt, because the way that fighting just happened there, it just shows it is going to be door to door, wheel to wheel as the whole evening unfolds. And I'm going to see if we can pull in for the first time this season Murray Adams into the commentary booth here, taking 4th with what was a fantastic fight towards the front.
Yeah, it was. That was an interesting one, really. I thought at the end there, probably with 2 or 3 to go, the guys up in the top 3 had managed to clear, and we started battling, and I'd managed to clear 5th. So yeah, that was really good. Really enjoyed that. Haven't got enough experience in the MX5 though, so pace is still a little bit missing, but yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
It was a great race. You visited the grass a couple of times in that one on that last lap. Particularly you saw that fight going on. I was really worried you were going to spin it around. But 4th position's a great result. Like that, even you say you haven't got the pace, but actually in conditions like this, keeping on track is more important, I would say.
Yeah, I think we kind of saw that with Jamie, obviously going off unfortunately from the lead. Jamie looked like he was going really, really well. Obviously Dell got got caught up in an incident at the start, which kind of set him back to 25th or 24th, I think, and then for him to get back to 5th, I think that's massive for him in his championship. So, yeah, really, really chuffed for him as well. I think that should hopefully put him just about into the virtual lead of the championship. So, yeah, really chuffed for him as well.
Right, well, good luck for the next race. Reverse grid will put you outside of the top 10. Do you think you're going to be able to make your way through, or do you think it's just going to be survival?
No, I'll definitely be giving it. As much as I can. I'm struggling under the cold tires, kind of first 2-3 laps, but once I get going, um, I'll probably try and make some moves and whatnot. So, yeah, don't expect to see me going forward particularly much in the first couple of laps, but I'll be giving it a right good go after that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and good luck then for race number 2, Murray.
Thanks, Joseph. Thanks very much.
How's Murray Adams there? Finishing in a very strong 4th position, and he mentioned there Adam Delmont getting taken around early doors with an incident with Kieran Sharp. It was all going to be about the recovery drive, but I don't think anyone could have expected Delmont to recover all the way back to 5th position. What a drive.
Good evening, Joseph. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was good fun.
It all went wrong at the start then. I know that Sharp did relieve the position. Do you have any thoughts about that one, how it went?
Do you know what? I've completely forgot to have a look because the rest of the race was so exciting and fun. I forgot to look back at it. I'm not sure what happened. I was driving just straight, and then all of a sudden I just got turned. So I don't know if there was a bit of netcode. I know Kieran's obviously a very clean racer. I've raced door-to-door with Kieran many times, and it's not an issue. So I can only assume it was either a bit of netcode or a tiny mistake, misjudged maybe how close he was because he did wait for me. So yeah, after that, obviously at first I was a bit like thinking, that's going to be it back at grid for it to do the rest of the night. But yeah, seemed to just really get the pedal down and that final move on the last lap in the chicane, yeah, that were a good one. That
It was brilliant to watch you carve your way through the field. You ended up just 3.5 seconds off of the race lead, which is crazy with how far you fell down the order. It does mean the next race you'll be starting on the bubble of the top 10. We know now you can find your way through. Are you looking for your 6th win this season? It will really help your championship.
I'm going to try, mate, because if anywhere I feel like I am really strong for pace around here. I know qualifying didn't quite show it, but I didn't actually get a proper draft lap. If I had have done, I think there'd have been a 28 in there. So, yeah, I've got the pace, mate. So it's just all a case of just hoping, if it's wet again, that I can avoid some potential first couple of lap misdemeanors with people maybe spinning or having a come in together. So if I can dodge that, mate, and get through, I have, all faith that I can charge forward and at least be in a place where I can be fighting for the win. Obviously, I'm going to have Isaac and everybody breathing down my neck, and they're quick as well. So, it's just going to be a case of go for it and see if we can get that 6.
Certainly. Well, good luck with race number 2 then, and it is turning out to be a very interesting championship fight between you all.
Cheers, Joseph. Thank you.
Adam Delmont there, coming home in 5th after going around early doors. We will be back for the second race of the day momentarily, so don't go anywhere as we jump across into the new server. Grab yourself your popcorn, your new drink, whatever you need, and be back in about 4 minutes' time where we will begin race number 2, another 10 laps of racing action here around the Thruxton circuit. Welcome back then here at the Thruxton circuit for the NXTGEN Racing Mazda MX5 round number 7. We are preparing for the second race of the day. We've already had one action-packed 10-lapped race. It was won by Tom Davidson in the overall race, and it was won by Matthew Cheverton in the Pro-Ams. It is a continuing streak that the driver on pole position is not able to convert that to a race 1 win. It has only been done once so far this season. Isaac Doble has taken pole now 3 times this season. Only once has he been able to convert that evening into a race victory. He has managed to do that back at Long Beach. It was a pole position in the first race of the for the first race of the day, but he only won race number 2. The next time he found himself on pole position, well, that was at Aragon for round number 5, and he didn't visit that victory road at all that weekend, but he did take it last week with Adam Delmont's pole position. Can he find the win again today? Because the last 2 pole sitters have not found the race victory that evening. Let's see if Isaac Doble can turn it around. He was close to it. He was part of that fight, but he was just off of the race win. But the reverse grid does mean now that he'll be finding himself to the back of the top 15. He'll be needing to make up those positions. It is easier to do here than you would think. Adam Delmont recovering from his early race spin in race number 1 to finish less than 4 seconds away from the race winner and take 5th position in the end. But a lot of drivers were going off the circuit in race number 1. Will it happen again here in race number 2? Qualifying then, race number 2 about to begin here with the warm-up coming to a close. So let's have a look at how the grid is going to line themselves up. The top 15 of race number 1 are reversed here. Adrian Fitch is going to start this one from the front ahead of Andrew Pike. A great position for him to take a potential win here. Jamie Dorey, he was in the hunt for the win. He spun from the lead on his own in race number 1. Can he do better here in race number 2? Michael Clough will start in 4th, ahead of Ben Oucher and Phil McDougall. We then have William Kirtler starting in 7th, ahead of Matthew Jordan in 8th. Matthew Cheverton is in 9th, ahead of Lee Horn. Adam Delmont will start in 11th, ahead of Murray Adams. And then your race 1 podium, Craig Twardock, Isaac Doble and Tom Davidson will go to 15th. The rest of your field starting with Nick Clibbins in their result 1 order. So we'll just flick through here and see the grid as it stands. I say the rest of the drivers all in order from their race 1 results. A couple of drivers not starting race number 2 here, but it will be Adrian Fitch on the inside of turn number 1. Who will be starting this one from the very front of the grid after getting 15th position in race number 1. That invert placing him very nicely. Of course, if you can stay on the lead lap of asking here for race number 2, you are going to find yourself in the invert for the final race of the day. A fully inverted grid will set up our drivers for the longest race of the day, which will be about 25 minutes. And looking about the lap counter, I'm gonna guess we will see about 13-14 laps of asking. Right, the lights are on and they are gonna be away, but a huge jump from Andrew Pike, and he immediately pulls over to the side there. I'm not sure what happened for Andrew Pike, but he just went. Adrian Fitch now is going to be under attack from Jamie Dorey. Dorey moves back into the lead of a race here. Can he hold it on the outside though? You can clearly see a dry line out there for the drivers. Will they be able to utilise that and find speed as the race goes on? Dorey leads the way, Fritsch down a second, Oucher gets past Clough as well. It's side by side behind Matthew Cheverton and Phil McDougall side by side. Pike continues to sit at the back of the field and will end up going down pit lane, I'm sure, as Oucher also makes an overtake past Adrian Fritsch to take second in this one. Michael Clough trying to get the lead of the Pro-Am field, but they are jockeying 4 positions behind. Adam Wilson-Weir has been in an accident on the opening lap of this race. McDougall stuck to the inside of Cheverton. Cheverton carrying the speed on the outside. That could invite Matthew Jordan here as he looks to go to the outside line. Already some fun and damage. That's Adam Delmont there getting pushed by Lee Horn. It'll turn to the inside. Delmont is going to be wanting to get all the points he possibly can here. There's a nice recovery in the first race of the day. Can he get a strong result in race number 2 and help his championship contention slide from McDougall behind? Allows Lee Horn through, and it is going to be 3-4 abreast here as drivers tried to fight their way through, including Isaac Doble here, also fighting for a championship right now, looking to try and get past Murray Adams. Can't do anything as Phil McDougall loses a number of positions on that opening lap of the race, especially with that slide through the chicane. Lee Horn around the outside here as Cheverton and Fritsch going at it for second in class. Fritsch could be under attack here from Adam Delmont. Delmont makes it to the inside. Murray Adams is trying to follow through along that line as well. It will be the outside right now. Isaac Doble tucks in behind Matthew Jordan, then moves across to the right hand side as we go into the 6th turn. Delmont, Adams and Doble there to the inside. It's not going to work out for Isaac Doble, who's still stuck behind the Pro-Am drivers. It has worked out for Delmont though, who comes out in 5th. Could work out for Murray Adams here if he sticks to the inside of Adrian Fritsch, and he is going to be able to do that, but Fritsch is trying to carry that speed on the outside to take that position back. A slightly wider line there from McDougall, but he holds it with a good amount of speed. That was Mikey Doble in the background looking to try and make a move as he's got into the top 15 now, as Murray Adams to the inside of Adrian Fritsch does take that position, and Matthew Jordan still sitting ahead of Isaac Doble as they complete the 2nd lap of asking here. Is Matthew Jordan going to try and get back onto a podium in class here and go to the inside of Adrian Fritsch into turn number 1? He certainly is. It's side by side, and here comes Isaac Doble. Is Doble potentially going to make this 3 wide as we head up towards turn number 2? He is going to make it 3 wide. Doble on the inside, and that was going to be Jordan backing out of it, making sure there was enough space there as they swap over for turn 3. Isaac Doble gets past Matthew Jordan, and now under attack of Adrian Fritsch as that's McDougall looking to try and get on the outside of Tom Davidson. Carries a nice amount of speed there, so does Mikey Doble, side by side with Nick Clibbins through turn 5. We switch across towards turn number 6 here, and Doble is doing a good job for himself, moving up the order, starting outside of where he wanted to after falling down in race number 1. Isaac Doble though looking to recover in this race from a 14th place start on the grid behind Adrian Fritsch, trying to get past the Pro-Am drivers and on the hunt of rival Adam Delmont, who sits 5th position right now. Kieran Sharp also involved in the championship. He's sitting only 15th right now. He is looking to lose a number of points this weekend as we go to the final round next week at Mosport. Into the chicane as that's McDougall and Jordan side by side. McDougall managed to hold the speed. Mikey Doble though trying now to get up the inside as well and carry that pass. He gets past Jordan, he gets past McDougall as Delmont and Cheverton have swapped over on the exit of the chicane, moving Adam Delmont into 4th, hunting down Michael Clough here to get into 3rd, but it is a 3.5 second gap up to Ben Oucher, who is hunting down Jamie Dorey for the race win here. Jamie Dorey looking for his 1st win of the season. Ben Oucher looking for his 2nd, as Matthew Jordan once again trying to get past Tom Davidson. Race 1 overall winner here, has not had the start to race 2 that he would have been hoping for from 15th on the grid. Under attack once more from Matthew Jordan. Jordan holds that speed on the inside of turn 5. It turns the outside of 6 though, but he is going to keep it side by side, and they are going to run level as they head up towards 7. Davidson gets a nose ahead right now, but Jordan is very much alongside as they head in towards turn number 8. Jordan backs out of it, gives Davidson that position for now. Will Ben Oucher do anything at the front to try and take the win on lap number 4? Going for an alternate 9 into the chicane here, but I think he is going to look on the exit, but he touches the brakes and touches back behind. So I think Ben Oucher actually might be just trying to hold on right now and go for that lead towards the end of the race, as Murray Adams and Adam Delmont have now dispatched the Pro-Am drivers. Matthew Cheverton looking to try and take the double in the Pro-Am races here, as it is Michael Clough just behind. Clough looking to try and take his first class win of the season, second class win of the season if possible. He took his first one last week at race number 2 in the Red Bull Ring. Can he do the same here for race number 2 once more, as that was Cheverton though all over the rear of Murray Adams, and trying to take full advantage of the fast pro drivers ahead of him, as Matthew Jordan and Adrian Fritsch are side by side here. It was Fritsch to the inside of turn 5, it will swap over in 6, and that is going to be Jordan ahead of Fritsch right now. Mikey Doble has dispatched this group of drivers that includes a few pros out there as well, including race 1 winner Tom Davidson and championship leader heading into today's race, Kieran Sharp. Nick Clibbins though looking to try and get past Adrian Fritsch now as we head up towards the chicane. It looks like Twaddock looked for a moment to get up the inside of McDougall, doesn't go for that move, or is he? He's certainly trying to get to the inside, doesn't find the inside though. A little bit of a nudge there between Clibbins and Fritsch. Fritsch is going to drop behind as the rain begins to fall. That was Davidson visiting the green turf through the chicane. Will not have to give up any time, however. Michael Clough looking to try and take the win in the Pro-Am field. The rain stops once more as we go through turn 2. Isaac Doble is behind this fight for the lead in the Pro-Ams. He is wanting to move back up the order as the leading drivers are just pulling away. Working together here means that Dory and Outra, if they can keep it clean, facing the right direction here, should not see Adam Delmont too close to their rear end before the end of this one, as it looks like Mark Hughes has gone off the circuit and has had an issue through turn 2, and he loses the rear end. Very easy to do, but he managed to get it facing the right way again, and we'll fight here with William Kirtler. Kirtler to the outside of turn number 5. It will switch across to the inside for Kirtler as they go into 6. Can Hughes carry it on the outside? He's not going to be able to. And William Kirtler moves through for that position. Kieran Sharp is in the middle of this train of drivers led by Adrian Fritsch. It's Tom Davidson, Sharp and Lee Horn here. They're at the bottom end of the top 15. It's not going to help them out with a reverse grid either, because they'll still be in the mid-pack, as this is Sharp looking to go follow Fritsch through, but that was Davidson deciding to go on the wider line around the outside, and Fritsch does so, looking to get the exit here from Kieran Sharp. Fritsch manages to keep up the speed though as they head across the line to go on to their 7th lap of asking. 4 more laps to go in this one. It's flying through at the moment here in race number 2. 1 more to go at the end of this one. Andrew Pike, crucially, is still on the lead lap of the race. Why that is crucial? If he's able to stay there, he will take pole position in race number 3. Mark Hughes off the circuit into the barrier there with a spin, and it looks like it was contact actually from behind, or was it a mistake from ahead? Sorry, and it was a nudge ahead of him. So with Leslie Brazil there, the 2 drivers having issues, and Hughes going in, and it looked like Hughes just tried to get too close to the rear end of Brazil, and it just put them both around. Hughes with some more damage. Ben Outra sticks on the rear of Jamie Dory. They are not pulling as far ahead of Delmont as they would have hoped to. Now that gap down by about a second, but they are still very much out there, not within touching distance for the fastest man out there of Adam Delmont, as Murray Adams, Isaac Doble get past Matthew Cheverton and move in towards the fight here as Ben Oucher and Jamie Dory have swapped positions at the end of the 7th lap of asking. And it looks like Jamie Dory, you could argue he made a mistake there, or you could argue he doesn't want to be the driver behind at the end of this race and has allowed Ben Oucher to be there to try and take the position at the very end of the race. And Ben Oucher doing exactly what Jamie Dory did in race number 1. And Ben Oucher spins from the lead. Down, down, down. He's in 7th position right now with a very feisty Mikey Doble leading the train of drivers just behind. But Jamie Dory just needs to keep it together and he will take his first win of the season. Adam Delmont has Murray Adams closing in, has crucially championship rival Isaac Doble closing in. Doble outscored Delmont in race 1. Delmont will not want him to outscore again in race 2. So Delmont is going to be pushing hard to hold on to second here. How is Murray Adams going to play out here? Is Adams going to support Delmont, or is Adams going to go aggressive? He's going to place his car perfectly to stop Doble getting through, and we might see Adams playing a brilliant team game for championship contending teammate Adam Delmont. No team's championship in here, but of course you can tell by the liveries there are certainly teammates and affiliations out there. Up towards the braking zone of turn number 2, Adam Delmont leads this train of drivers that are fighting for second. 2.5 seconds up, almost 3 seconds up to Jamie Dory. Is Dory going to take it easy and keep it facing the right direction? He was unable to stay facing the right way in race 1 from the lead. Ben Oucher was unable to stay facing the right way here in race 2 from the lead. Can Jamie Dory keep it together now? Will we see a race 3 leader keep it together? Or are we going to see the spins from the lead out front? And this has also been, let us say, the cleanest racing all season long as Doble gets up the inside of Murray Adams and could attack Adam Delmont on the final lap of the race between the 2 championship contenders. No safety cars, only minor accidents. This has been a great evening of racing, and with a full invert of race 3, it is not going to be over once the checkered flag flies in just 1 more lap time. Jamie Dory takes the white flag. He needs to keep it together, and he will take his first win of the season. Isaac Doble needs to find almost a second to get onto the back of Adam Delmont for a potential overtake and beating his championship contender in both races. Mikey Doble gets past Craig Twardock in 9th and 10th position, but Oucher and Matthew Jordan are fighting ahead. Oucher to the inside, that's going to be a little bit of a nudge there. Mikey Doble, Craig Twardock fighting behind, but Matthew Jordan fighting to hold on to 7th overall. Mikey Doble follows Jordan. Twardock follows Oucher. It is 2 by 2 into turn 5. Oucher comes out on top. Doble still behind Jordan here. Twardock drops behind as well. Murray Adams on the rear end of Isaac Doble. Can he do something to help out his teammates in the points? We head up to the chicane for the final time as Jordan and Oucher side by side once more through the exit of turn 8. Mikey Doble is going to look to try and make an overtake. It goes 3 wide behind. As we head into the chicane, Mikey Doble and Ben Oucher fight out for 7th. Doble's got it. Oucher's trying to get it back on the switch across. Doble parks it, and it's around for Craig Twardock. A slide and around for Murray Adams across the line. Mikey Doble beats Ben Oucher by 0.5 of a second. Lee Horn trying to get it to the line here. And he does find the reverse gear for 19th. Twardock managed to get 14th. But for the first time this season, Jamie Dory has finally broken the bad luck. And in the 2 races, we find first-time race winners for the first time since round 4. And it is 2 first-time race winners this season. Tom Davidson in race 1, Jamie Dory in race 2. And it is a back-to-back class win from Matthew Cheverton, who finds his 4th victory of the season here in race number 2. Jamie Dory winning that one over Delmont. Isaac Doble takes the final podium place. Matthew Cheverton coming in 4th ahead of Murray Adams. Michael Clough crossed the line in 6th ahead of Mikey Doble. Ben Oucher took home 8th ahead of Matthew Jordan. Tom Davidson taking a top 10. It was Dan McDougall ahead of Sharp, championship leader. Fritsch in 13th ahead of Twaddock. It was then Clibbins ahead of Wilson Weir, ahead of Smith. Kurtler came in 18th ahead of Horn. Matt Gatter came home in 20th ahead of Leslie Brazil. Mark Hughes in 22nd. Alan McCain, it's not been a great evening for championship leaders. He came home in 23rd ahead of Andrew Pike, who jumped the start. Andy Outhouse is going to start from pole, I believe, in the final race of the day. And I think it is very, very obvious who we are going to try and pull into the booth here after race number 2, because for the first time this season, Jamie Dory is a race winner.
Yeah, finally, eh?
It's taken time.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. You know, I threw it away race 1. I know I had the pace round here. It's just, obviously, last couple of weeks, well, with still a broken hand, it's just one of those. It's just eluded me. So, finally, I'll take that.
What happened to you in race 1? It happened to Ben Oucher. Now, before Oucher's spin through the final chicane, was that you giving him the position, wanting to be behind at the end, or did something happen?
No, it was, he's in the chat with me, so we were just kind of milling at the front there, and thing is with iRacing is if you're the lead car and you've got someone right up your backside, it plays havoc with your tyres a little bit. So I let him go ahead there for a few laps, and then he decided to throw it away. So, you know, it happens, and from there I was just managing the gap, just watching the timing and watching Delmont and that close, and I was like, I'm not taking any undue risks and just bring the car home.
Indeed. So finally, I mean, you were close there all the way back at Monza. It didn't come your way. It's come your way here at Thruxton, but it does mean for the final race of the day, you're going to be starting from the back of the field. Do you feel like you can make your way through? I mean, we saw Delmont charge up through race 1.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think with the weather conditions and what's going on, you know, if a few of us get together, I think that we could still come from the back through. You know, if I'm not on the podium or a top 5, I'll be a little bit upset. But of course, I'll be going for a win again. So I feel like this would have been the track where I could have done all 3, bar that mistake in race 1. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, good luck for the final race today, Jamie, and once again, congratulations.
Cheers, Joseph. Have a good one.
That was Jamie Dory there. It has taken him all season. It is the 7th round of asking. It was the 20th race of asking, but Jamie Dory took the win here in race number 2. And as I said, it will be placing him to the back of the field in the final race of the day. And it is going to be a very interesting one indeed, because we'll also see Adam Delmont and Isaac Doble at the back of the field in that one, making it an extremely close battle for them. And it will help out championship rivals Mikey Doble, a few positions extra, finished that one in 7th. And of course, Kieran Sharp, who is going to find his way are much higher up the field. Still has a lot of work to do, but he is going to find himself much better placed than his championship rivals. Of course, Sharp was leading the championship heading into tonight's event, but it has not quite gone his way as it stands, and he was only 5 points clear of Delmont. That gap has clearly closed, and Delmont very much could be in the lead of the championship out of this one. The two Doble brothers, though, hot on the heels. They've had their own issues from Mikey Doble, but Isaac Doble, well, he's been on the podium in both races so far. Can he make it 3 for 3? It will definitely help out his championship fight, that is for sure. Race number 3 is going to be coming up in a short moment's time then. It is going to be a longer race with a fully inverted grid. The weather is still going to be poor. The conditions are still going to be wet. And the drivers are still going to have to get their cars around in an intense fight all race long. So don't go anywhere, because race number 3 is going to begin very, very shortly. we are preparing ourselves for the third and final race of the day. It is going to be 17 laps of racing action around the fastest circuit in the UK. It is Thruxton. It's the 7th round of competition. Next week, we head across to the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the 8th and final round. The championship in both classes are extremely close, especially after today as well. It is going to be even tighter in the pros and the Pro-Am Championships. Our leaders heading into the weekend not having the best weekends that they could have had, and it is going to impact on their championship lead. We are hoping that I could just quickly get enough in there to see the championship standings before we end the broadcast at the end of this evening. One more race coming your way, though. It is going to be a fully inverted grid for this one, which means 25 drivers are going to be flipped, and our race to winner for the first time this season, Jamie Dorey, he's going to be starting at the very back of the field. Now, 2 weeks ago, Isaac Doble took pole. He did not manage to convert that pole into a race win in any of the 3 races. Adam Delmont took pole last week. He was not able to convert that pole into a win in any of the 3 races. Isaac Doble took pole here today. He took 2nd place in race number 1. He took 3rd place in race number 2. Can he get the win here, or will we go 3 weeks in a row where our pole man has not got a race victory? It is going to be a hard charge for him to do, because he will be starting all the way down in 23rd position. Delmont, he's already found himself outside the top 20 so far this weekend after an accident in race number 1. He recovered to take a top 5 result, so anything is possible for our drivers. They are going to be pushing it hard. It is raining heavier than we have seen it all evening long. The circuit is soaked. This is going to be an incredible inverted race, so don't go anywhere. If you are watching over on the Facebook page, make sure you follow the Next Gen Facebook page, as well as hitting the like here on the stream and sharing the stream with your family and friends. If you're watching over on the YouTube, make sure that you hit that subscribe button for the YouTube channel and that you hit that thumbs up as well. If you're watching over on the Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. That way, on all of the channels, you're notified when the races go live and you won't miss anything. If you want to catch up with extended highlights from this season, go across to the Beehive Bill YouTube channel. You can catch up with them there. The last week's races at the Red Bull Ring will be up by the end of this week. It has been a very, very long week here in the broadcasting booth, but they will get up before the end of the week, and so will this week's events as well. We're going to head ourselves down, though, on to the iRacing track then, and the Thruxton circuit, because the final warm-up session of the day is done. Drivers are preparing themselves to grid up, and we have got a field of 24 drivers, it looks like, that are going to be flipped around. So let's look at our grid for the final race of the day. Andy Outhouse is going to be starting this one from pole position. He'll be starting ahead of Andrew Pike, who turns out jumped the start in race number 1 as the cable was pulled out by what was a cat, is now a rug. But we'll be starting in second once more. We'll be hoping not to get the jump start. That is also why Pike pulled over to the side and out of the way of the other drivers. Alan McCain will be starting this one in 3rd position ahead of Mark Hughes. Leslie Brazil will be in 5th ahead of Lee Horn, who went around at the end of the last race, so we'll be really trying to take advantage of a strong start here. William Kirtler will start in 7th ahead of Sam Smith. Adam Wilson-Weir in 9th ahead of Nick Clibbins. Craig Twaddock will start in 11th ahead of Adrian Fritsch. Then it will be Kieran Sharp. Phil McDougall Tom Davidson, Matthew Jordan, Ben Oucher, and Mikey Doble. Michael Clough and Murray Adams round out your top 20. Matthew Severton will start from 21st, ahead of Isaac Doble, Adam Delmont from 23rd, and Jamie Dory from the rear of the field here in the final race of the day. 24 cars are going to be piling in to turn number 1 and 2, and hoping to try and gain some positions. It is a 17-lap race though, and with the tow it does pay to be sensible, to take your time and go only when you have a clear opportunity. There's no point diving it in there. There's a lot of places you can get a nice strong tow around this track that you don't need to dive it in. You can carry the speed through. Will we see Andy Outhouse return onto the grid here for the final race of the day? He's certainly hoping so, because he will start from pole position, but he won't, which means Andrew Pike is going to be holding on to what is officially pole position on the outside here. We are green for the final race of the day. 17 laps are on the board, and it is going to be Andrew Pike. No jump start this time. Will lead the way out of turn 1, and there is an accident behind with drivers facing the wrong way, and it was collected at the end there, right at the end, for Jamie Dory. It has gone wrong for the man who won race number 2. Leslie Brazil with major damage, trying to get that car moving, but he can't. Will be down and out of this one early doors, and it was Brazil who went around at the start. Dory limping around with a very broken car. His day will be done, but he is going to get that car back to pit lane and potentially try to take up any other positions that might be lost from other drivers having issues. We will catch up with what happened there, because Murray Adams has also had an issue on the opening lap of the race, but we will catch up once we have settled ourselves into this one as we head up towards the end of the lap. Andrew Pike's leading away, but off the circuit there was Sam Smith. Loses positions to Clibbins, Praddock, and to Kieran Sharp. Sharp trying to move up the order, and I jinxed it from the first race of the day. We are going to see the safety car out. They are allowed to battle to the racing line here, and that is going to be issues for Fritsch there and for Smith. Drivers are going to race to the timing line, and they all go across the timing line. It could have been a clean day, but it goes wrong on the first lap of asking for race number 3. We are under safety car conditions, which means drivers are going to just have to head around at this slower pace. And let's jump back then to find out what has happened to our drivers. We ride on board with Jamie Dory here. Off the line, has not had the quickest of launches, a bit south of nose ahead, but a huge slide from Isaac Doble. Ducks to the inside goes Dory. Already you can see the spin ahead from this higher view. Everyone moves out the way, and it just comes out of nowhere. We are sat on top of the car, so we can see it a lot easier, as we will see if we can catch up what happened here to Leslie Brazil off the line, starting in what would have been 5th, promoted to 4th on the line. Turn number 1, it's just too far at the inside, loses and avoided from almost everyone, and it just appears in front of Dory. A huge slam just appearing in front of Dory there, which is a shame, and Dory does keep the car rolling, but a major damage to him. Murray Adams went off at turn 1. That's where the accident happened, but Adams had his own little issue here. It looks like he may have suspension damage there. There's something happened here to Murray Adams off the line, because the way that he was moving there, it very much looked like he had some suspension damage. As we come up towards turn 1, it's wide, it's just onto the grass and just no grip. Coming back on There's the accident again, but coming back on, just no grip on the rear end for Murray Adams. Means he visited off track. Has something happened further along for Adams? Is Isaac Doble behind? I think, no! Murray Adams is on dry tyres. That's what that is. Adams started this race on dry tyres. That'll be why he's running around. He's pitted, got on the wets. Jamie Dory is also pitted, has taken that fast repair, which means that he will be able to continue racing on the lead lap here. Leslie Brazil will be looking to try and catch up as well, also taking the fast repair. Right, we're under the second lap of safety car here. Let's have a look then at the order of the field after that one, because there has been a few changes. Andrew Pike leads the way ahead of Alan McCain. Mark Hughes is in third position. Lee Horn sits in fourth ahead of Nick Clibbins. Craig Twardock is in sixth ahead of Kieran Sharp, who's found his way to seventh. Adam Wilson-Weir is in eighth ahead of William Kirtler. Tom Davidson, race one winner, sits in the top 10 right now. Oucher was in with a chance of winning race 2 before his spin. He sits 11th ahead of Phil McDougall. Championship contender Mikey Doble, he sits in 13th ahead of Michael Clough. Adam Delmont looking to get up the order. He started all the way at the back. He is up to 15th. Matthew Cheverton's in 16th ahead of Adrian Fritsch. Matthew Jordan in 18th position right now ahead of Andy Outhouse. Isaac Doble not getting the start that he would have wanted. He's still down in 20th. Jamie Dory has pitted but is on the back of the field here, 21st. Murray Adams is in 22nd position ahead of Leslie Brazil. And out of this race on the opening lap was Sam Smith. Right. Race number 3 is going to resume momentarily. Normally we get 2 laps of safety car. I expect the same again here. Leslie Brazil is still 25 seconds off of Murray Adams, but the safety car is not there to allow you to catch up to the rear of the field. The safety car has pulled away, which means we are going to go green out of the final chicane. Pike can choose when he wants to go. He's going to go late all the way up to the timing line here before he puts his foot down. He could go as late as he wanted to, and he certainly did. That gives the drivers behind some opportunities here as Adam Wilson-Weir looks to the inside of Kieran Sharp. Couldn't do something there. Twardock looks to try and get past Clibbins. Clibbins goes defensive as we head into turn number 2. Side-by-side action throughout the front of this field here as Mark Hughes looking to try and get past Lee Horn as Lee Horn moves up into third. Contact for Hughes. Slight sideways there after a nudge with Clibbins. Keeps it facing the right way. Clibbins loses a bit of speed. And now Sharp and Twardock is here side by side. And there's contact. And around goes championship contender Kieran Sharp. And a huge collection from one of the Dobles. It was Mikey Doble involved in that too. Championship contenders are around and falling down the order, and that is not good news for those that were looking to try and get points. Mark Hughes is extremely slow out there as well, as meatball flags for Sharp and for Mikey Doble. They will both have to visit pit lane in this one. The race shortened to 16 laps due to time, I think, because it was 17 at the start of asking. It's down to 16 now. As we go through the chicane, Lee Horn chasing down Alan McCain. McCain looking to try and take the opportunity here to take the potential lead in, well, to hold on to the lead in the Pro-Am Championship. He leads the Pro-Am race right now after a very poor first couple of races as Adrian Fritsch holding up Adams and Delmont. Delmont to the outside of Adams here. Will switch across through the left-hander up towards turn number 2. That's Isaac Doble looking to move up the order along with Jamie Dory. Now remember, Isaac Doble and Jamie Dory are outside the top 20 on the restart in just one lap. Both of them have made their way into the top 10. That's how big that accident was last time around. Matthew Cheverton is slow there. Michael Clough under attack here from Delmont as Murray Adams and Adrian Fritsch also side by side once more. Delmont takes that position. Can Adams find the position on the outside here. We will see if we can catch up to what happened on the previous lap. This is what happened to Nick Clibbins then, which I would say ultimately started it all. Was going rather slowly after that little bit of contact. And this is actually going to be on board with Mikey Dobu. We'll see the contact ahead. Cars fanning out, just not sure where to go. And it's just so much going on. And Doble just pinched by drivers at either side of him, completely taking out his suspension, which is a real shame for him, as he will return back onto the circuit. And Mikey Doble now a lap down, but does come out of pit lane. Ben Oucho trying to make up for his race 2 spin from the lead, as Wilson Weir is going to have to visit pit lane with a black flag. Oucho looking to try and get into 4th position past Craig Twardock. Alan McCain right now doing a good job of holding Lee Horn behind, and therefore allowing Andrew Pike to continue out at the front here. So far, as Oucher makes his way past Twardock, we have only seen new race winners today. Andrew Pike and Lee Horn would add to that if either of those could come across the line at the front of this field. They will be new race winners in your pro field. Matthew Jordan and Matthew Cheverton side by side, but Jordan up the inside of Cheverton, and they come together. Both of them off the circuit. Jordan completely disappearing out of the way there. Will find his way back onto the grass, down a number of positions with Matthew Cheverton as well. As it is all going pear-shaped in this last race of the day. Craig Twardock looking to try and get back past Oucher. Won't do it up towards the chicane. They are 2 seconds away from a podium. Will they work together here as we go on to, as we reintroduce ourselves to 17 laps of asking here, as my lap counter continues to mess around. We go into 11 laps to go. Adam Delmont taking the purple there. 9th position, 2/10 of Isaac Doble, 7/10 of Jamie Doris. Those drivers looking to work their way from the back of the field here. Remember, Jamie Dory was part of that turn 1 smash on the opening lap of the race. The safety car allowing him to dive down pit lane with the meatball flag, get that a quick repair, get back out, and he is straight in to another fight here, and he's behind William Kurtler, trying to take the 6th position in this race. It's to the inside, it will turn across to the outside, which might open the door for Isaac Doble. Are Dory, Doble, Delmont going to work together here? Delmont is not. He's going to look to the inside of Isaac Doble. Doble manages to carry the speed to defend that, though, as Jamie Dory is to the inside of William Kurtler. Here comes Isaac Doble to follow through. Kurtler's not going to allow him to have that easily, though, and we'll have to wait till the exit of turn number 8 as Hughes and Fritsch swap positions, I think. But Dougal may have had an issue potentially as we head up now towards the chicane. It continues to be a fight here as Delmont gets past Doble. Will he get past the inside of William Kurtler? He does, and Kurtler allows Doble through as well as now Dory Delmont. Doble 6th, 7th and 8th as Lee Horn and Craig Twardock swap positions out of the chicane, and it looks like as Ben Ouchy moved up to 3rd, it could have been a potential bigger issue there for Lee Horn, because he actually lost out. He was on the rear end of Alan McCain there. He's got Ben Oucher just behind him. Moves to the side. He just hasn't got the speed. Is it a potential slowdown as well? I think it may have been a slowdown for Lee Horn, making him give up those positions. Adam Delmont and Jamie Dory then are going to be trying to push up what is now a 6-second gap to get up to Lee Horn. Ben Oucher is back onto the podium though. Craig Twardock just behind us. Here comes Delmont to the outside of Jamie Dory. It swaps over now, with Delmont now to the inside and up to 6th position ahead of Jamie Dory. A bit of a slide there from the drivers as they head through, but Andrew Pike currently holds a 2.5 second lead over Alan McCain. McCain will be trying to keep Ben Oucher behind, but McCain does have How far does McCain have here? He has 9 seconds to second in class. He has no need to fight too hard out here. Ben Oucher gets the inside of chicane and will now be trying to close up 2.7 seconds here. Andrew Pike looking for his first win of the season. Ben Oucher looking for his second. He last saw a victory at round 3, race number 2 at Zandvoort. He was looking for the victory in race number 2. He got into the lead past Jamie Dory and he went around. Phil McDougall has had an issue with Adrian Fritsch. It looks like Fritsch may have had an issue up ahead on the circuit. There's Fritsch. It looks like he's going sideways here. He is sideways and McDougall. Oh! Fritsch's car just switches across, doesn't it? It just switches across. McDougall, so massive it knocked out our cameras there. A huge T-bone on the side as Fritsch's car, it just slid the other way. There's really nothing that either of them could have done to avoid that accident. Isaac Doble looking to try and move up here, especially past Adam Dalmont if possible, because he'll be wanting to try and move up into, move up in the championship ahead of his rival. He's outscored Dalmont in race 1. Dalmont outscored him in race 2. As we see more drivers out of this race. Tom Davidson, race 1 winner. Adam Wilson-Weir and Mikey Doble all out of this race. All the drivers that are out have won at least one race so far this season in class or overall. Doble getting to the rear end of Jamie Doria, not able to do anything as Murray Adams looks to the inside of William Kurtler. Kurtler allows that to happen. And Murray Adams now looking to try and find a way through. He was finding that pace in race 1. He said that he wasn't quite sure about his pace around this circuit, especially in the wet. He was not too happy with his speed in the wet, but he did get a good race 1 result. He's looking to try and repeat that strong result here in the third race of the day. We head on to the breaking point right now in this fight. The gap at the front down to 1.3 seconds. Craig Twadok 1.3 seconds off of Oucher. So right now, Oucher can just focus on getting his lap times in and closing that gap to Andrew Pike. Pike will be focused on trying to hold a gap at the front, but mistakes do happen as they are right now. And on the last lap alone, Pike was 0.8 of a second slower than Ben Oucher. That being said, though, it looks like Oucher has gone off the circuit and could potentially have just had some issues here as we go through turn number 6, as he pushed just a bit too hard because Craig Twadok is now on the rear end of him, and yep, he slides onto the grass, and here comes Twadok to the inside, up to the chicane, and what was a hunt for the win has turned into an overtake from Twadok. Oucher down now to third once more. Andrew Pike 2.3 seconds clear out front, and we'll be hoping it stays that way. Issues for Andy Outhouse through turn 7 into turn 8, and he goes around. Ben Oucher now looking to try and get back past Craig Twadok, or is he going to work with Craig Twadok to try and catch to Andrew Pike? That is going to be the question on his mind right now, is what is the best way for him to potentially get a second win of the season here. He is pushing hard. The rear end of his car is sliding around out there. We have gone the length of race number 1 and race number 2 as we head into the final 7 laps of asking here. We were under safety car for 2 of those, but we will head around for 17 full laps as it looks like Murray Adams it showed him as dropping behind William Kurtler. He did not drop behind William Kurtler. He is absolutely fine. Ben Oucher then looking to try and help maybe Twadok push towards Andrew Pike. Adam Dalmont is on the rear end and Lee Horn here, and we'll be looking to try and take 5th position in this race. Every single point counts in this championship as we head up towards the final round next week in Mosport. Onto the brakes for Delmont, and he does get that position done on Lee Horn. Horn doesn't fight it too hard, and Adam Delmont up to 5th. Jamie Dory is going to look to get past Horn as well. A slide from Horn, and through goes Jamie Dory. Isaac Doble has got a bit of work to do because he has dropped off the back of the fight ahead of him. And now he is sitting in 8th position with his rival Adam Delmont in 5th position. Fortunately for Isaac Doble, Adam Delmont, and for Kieran Sharp, Mikey Doble is down and out of this race, but Kieran Sharp's day just continues to, to be really difficult for him. It's almost 19 seconds behind 15th place as he sits in 16th position in this final race of the day. Meatball flag from Phil McDougall means that he will also not return back out to the circuit. 3 laps off of the next driver as it stands, as Oucher has made his way back past Craig Twardock, as it looks like that happened out of turn 8 and up towards the chicane. Oucher looked to the left-hand side of the circuit, up towards chicane. He's got the speed, and there is almost nothing that Twardock could do to really stop Oucher from moving through. You can see that on the brakes, they're just moving through. May I also say that Leslie Brazil is currently running around there in 17th position on the dry compound of tyres. I don't know if he knows that. When he came down pit lane, of course, an accident on race 1. Or was he potentially on dries at the start of this race, which is why he went around? A number of cars were accidentally on the dry compound of tyres. It could have been what happened there, as Murray Adams is trying to help Adam Delmont, his teammate here, by knocking Isaac Doble down another position. Pushing hard into turn 2 and does keep that position as it switches across to 3. Isaac Doble now looking to get the speed on the exit of 4, and he is going to get that speed. It will turn to the outside at turn number 5 here, but it will switch back across his way, but he backs out of that one as out off the circuit. Jamie Dory and Adam Delmont. They're both into the wall. Has it been contact? Delmont slides, wobbles, and collected by Jamie Dory. And that takes another championship contender out of the race, opening doors to return to the championship lead for Isaac Doble. He was there until Aragon. Can he move back into the championship lead after moving down to 4th at the end of last week? Isaac Doble has taken a podium in both opening races, currently sits in 6th, just half a second off of Lee Horn. Meatballs for Delmont and Dory. Dory has already used his fast repair. He will not be getting his car back out in this race. Delmont could, though, and still take at least a couple of points in this race. Ben Oucher hunting down Twardock for 2nd, but both drivers are 1.4 off of Andrew Pike. Pike has 3.5 laps to try and hold on. Twardock off the racing line there with a slow, I believe that's Leslie Brazil on the dry compound of tyres. It is. That's put Twardock under attack here from Oucher. Oucher on the outside, but Pike is hunting his first win of the season. And this fight going on behind is going to be helping him out. Twardock is on the inside of Ben Oucher. They run side by side. Oucher tucks in behind. Delmont and Dory both down pit lane now. And it looks like Delmont might have had enough with this one as well. Does have a quick repair, but I'm not seeing him get straight back out onto the race. Oucher looking again to try and find a way past Twardock here to get 2nd. The gap now opened up by another 2nd to Andrew Pike with just 3 laps to go. Pike could win this one, but in race 1 we saw Jamie Dory spin out from the lead. Race 2 we saw Ben Oucher spin out from the lead. Can we see Andrew Pike hold it straight all the way to the end? It is very, very wet out there. The rain continuing to fall. Oucher going for the alternate lines over Craig Twardock. It could give him the speed here as we exit turn number 4. Oucher moves to the outside of 5, looking to try and hold it on that outside line. It will turn to the inside in 6 if he can keep his nose in, and he certainly does. Ben Oucher moves back into second and has got speed over Twardock here. Andy Outhouse has found his way into an issue again this race. These wet conditions catching a lot of drivers out. And it's through turn number 8, loses the rear end and visits the grass, gets very much out of the way of the other drivers and heads over to the active grass runway. 2 active runways around, in the centre of the Thruxton circuit here. 1 paved, 1 grass. They are still used as Craig Twardock looking to try and get into second position once more as we go to the penultimate lap of the race. Andrew Pike has a 2.5 second gap. He just needs to keep it clean, and Pike will find his first win of the season. It's taken 21 races, but he is currently on his way. Lap 16 out of 17 here. We watch the fight for second position. Outra leading Twardock. Twardock chasing behind. Slightly different racing lines here. Can Twardock carry the speed this time through the XL4? No. Outra has that initial speed. The toe is going to be helping Twardock, however. How easy is Andrew Pike going to be taking this? Has he got a slowdown or an issue? It's down. The gap is down to 1.5 seconds. It's gone down by about a second at the very beginning of this lap. It's penultimate lap. We've got white flag next lap, and Oucher has a real opportunity here because Pike has lost a lot of time on this lap. I'm looking, and it doesn't look like Pike's gotten off track. So he has just gone extremely slowly. If he loses the same amount of time at the start of the lap next time around, then he will be under attack from Oucher into the final chicane. Adam Delmont gets past Leslie Brazil for 15th. Jamie Dory after this race as well means that 18 cars remain as we go on to the final lap of asking here. Andrew Pike losing 1.1 seconds on the last lap as we head on to the final lap of the race. If he loses the same as we head up towards the final chicane, Ben Oucher can have a real opportunity. 1.4 seconds separating them. Correcting the wheel there though, it is a slow start to the lap from Ben Oucher. Great news for Andrew Pike, great news for Craig Twardock, who could be looking to take second position away from Ben Oucher here. Going through turn 5, switching across for 6th now. This is the closest fight out there in the same class. Kurtler just a few tenths off of Horn as well though for 6th and 7th overall. The gap to Andrew Pike is 1.6 seconds. If he keeps it on the black stuff, he is going to win for the first time this season. Who is going to take second? Ben Oucher moves to the right to go defensive. Twardock is going to get in there anyway. Oucher is going to be on the wider line here, as that was Outhouse jumping out of the way for the leaders. Twardock's got the inside. Oucher's going to try and hold it, but he can't. But for the first time this season, Andrew Pike will cross the line to take the win here in the Mazdas. Craig Twardock takes second ahead of Ben Oucher. Who is going to take 4th? It's going to go the way of Isaac Doble ahead of Alan McCain. Lee Horn will take 6th ahead of William Kurtler. Matthew Cheverton takes home 8th ahead of Murray Adams and 9th. And Matthew Jordan takes home 10th. Nick Clibbins comes down pit lane to end the race in 11th. Mark Hughes is going to come around to take 12th if he can keep it on the track. But Alan McCain, after a poor weekend for the Pro-Am Championship leader takes a win here, and it is going to be his 3rd win of the season in class. Mark Hughes is going to take home 12th position. Kieran Sharp is going to cross the line in 13th. Adam Dalmont had to pit after spinning out, being collected by Jamie Dorey. He finished in 14th. Leslie Brazil finished in 15th. Michael Clough came home in 16th, and Andy Outhouse in 17th. Adrian Fitch will be the last finisher in 18th position, with Jamie Dorey out of the race, with Phil McDougall out of the race, with Mikey Doble out of the race, Adam Wilson-Weir out of the race, Tom Davidson out of the race, Sam Smith out of the race. But for this man here, Andrew Pike, it was a first win of the season. Having to stop on pit entry there because they cut the corner and they needed to make sure they didn't get disqualified going across the line. But a win for Andrew Pike. And what that means is all 3 races today have seen first-time race winners. The last time all 3 races were won by new winners was all the way back at round 3. We have managed to achieve it at the penultimate round of asking, as Tom Davidson won race number 1, Jamie Dorey won race number 2, and Andrew Pike found his way to victory in the final race of the day. It has been an incredible fight for all our drivers out there, and we are going to see if we can pull across just a couple out of that one. And one of those that I would like to talk to will be Ben Outra. It was almost a victory in race 1. It was in race 2. It was almost a victory in race 3. It just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. It's just sometimes it goes that way. I had great pace, and I just made mistakes myself. I've got nobody to blame but me, really. So, but yeah, that was good opportunities. Just didn't capitalize on them.
You had a great fight with Craig Twardock in that final race. Went on for quite some time. You kept on swapping positions. The end of that race, you tried to hold it on the outside. What was the choice that made you go to the outside there instead of the inside?
I don't like potentially blocking people, and I knew that he was going to try and go on the right-hand side. It's wet. I don't want to make sharp moves. It's just going to kill one of us. So I just moved over to the middle to see where he felt like he wanted to go, and he took the inside, which is, it's one of those things.
As I say, you've been showing some great pace around here. Do you feel like it was the circuit? Do you feel like it was the weather, or a combination of both that made you so fast?
I'd have to say a bit of both. I love driving in the wet. I've always had an affinity for it since it came out in iRacing. I took part in the first ever endurance race that had rain enabled. It wasn't official, but it was the first endurance race. It was 24 hours of Daytona, and it had rain. It rained a lot. It was. I've enjoyed Thruxton every time I've driven it, so I think, to be honest, it was both.
We head across to Mosport. Final round of the season next week. How are you feeling about that track?
Mixed bag, I think. I think it should be fun in the Mazdas, but I've just never really enjoyed driving Mosport, so I'll see how it goes. It's very Thruxton-esque, but it just hasn't got the same kick to it that I feel when I'm driving around Thruxton, if that makes sense.
Definitely. I find that Thruxton, you're on the power so much. You've got a nice flow all around the track. But Mosport's going to be interesting for the final round, and we'll see if you can get yourself back onto that top spot of a podium again.
Thank you very much, mate.
Ben Oucher there, coming home in 3rd in that race, fighting all evening long for his second win of the season. Couldn't quite make it to the front, but was showing some good amount of speed around there. And it has been another incredible evening of racing as we come to close here at the Thruxton circuit. It is 7 rounds done, 21 races completed. We still have one more to go at Mosport. The championships are still going to be tight. I was hoping that we'd get the provisional results up before the end of this broadcast. They haven't quite come through yet, but do check out the Next Gen Discord server if you want to get involved with leagues such as this one, and make sure you can check out all of the up-to-date standings as well. Final round of the season next week, then we head across to the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Don't know what the weather's going to be like at the moment. Is it going to be damp, dreary and miserable like it has been here? In the weather, at least, it certainly hasn't been dreary and miserable with our racing out there on the circuit. Are we going to see the sun again? We've seen very dry races as the season has gone on, and all of them have created some incredible racing with both the Pro and the Pro-Am Championships on the line. However, it is going to be incredibly tight, and drivers will be finding every point possible. We will hang around next week for the provisional results to be posted before we end the broadcast, because we will want to know how the provisional championship standings stand. But until next Tuesday, I do hope you have a fantastic week as we go to the final round of the season, the final race at Next Gen for this year. But 2026 is going to be a big one. We have got, obviously, season number 10 coming your way of the NXTCCs. You have also got the Legends coming out as well, and the GT3s will be returning once more. So make sure that you stick around here at Next Gen. You hit that follow button over on the Facebook, you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube, and the brilliant racing that you see tonight is going to be continuing next year as well. One more round to go. Mosport is the last track to feature the MX5s for the Next Gen Racing's Mazda Cup this season. Who is going to come out on top, particularly in your Pro Championship? It is open. Adam Delmont, will he find his way to the top of the championship and hold that one? Isaac Doble, he's been at the top a number of times this season. He fell out of that lead a couple of rounds ago. Will he find his way to the top? Mikey Doble, he's not been there. He's been far away from the championship all season long. He entered the fight after a double win last week. Will he be able to find something to pull it out of the bag and take the championship? Or will we find Kieran Sharp, championship leader heading into today, to take the lead of the championship? Is going to require a lot of effort next week, because today has not gone his way. But it's all going to come down to the final next week. So make sure you don't miss it. We'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.